I don't know how to start this whole thing. This is my opinion, and if people can't respect it, then I'm sorry. And maybe things will change down the road. But as of right now, what AJ Brown did at that press conference was not a good look at all. This was probably the worst look for him, especially after Jeffrey Lurie went to the practice field and told AJ Brown, like, stop posting on social media. And AJ Brown apologized, and Jeffrey Lurie was like, you don't have to apologize to me. And I figured that we would have just went, going through the motions, and we would have just kind of, I guess, got by this problem sooner or later, and things would have at least got a little bit better. But no, it really got worse. AJ Brown was sitting at his locker with a smug look on his face, and that smug look really tells me that he knows what he's doing. A lot of dots are starting to connect from Brandon Graham's statement last year between 1 and 11, AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, and some of the issues that they've had, and they did have some issues. I understand that Kevin Patullo is a problem for this offense, but Kevin Patullo isn't going to kill a dynasty. Kevin Patullo isn't going to kill the culture. And I'm on AJ's side with half of it, and I'm saying half because as he was vocal about the offense not being dynamic, not using him, not spreading out these players' skill sets to have an explosive offense. We are below average, what we should be right now, and I completely agree with AJ Brown on that. But the shit that he pulled at this press conference, no fucking way he did that. AJ Brown mentions that he wants to talk about Dallas, okay? The frustrations of the quarterback, the Derek Gunn rumors. Yeah, AJ Brown wants to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. That should have been the first thing out of his mouth when some type of question, okay, was asked of AJ Brown of all of these outside rumors of what's going on between him and the coaching staff or him and the quarterback or whatever. Talking about the Dallas Cowboys, he should have said, I am only talking about the Dallas Cowboys and the team, and that is it. That's what he should have started this press conference with. He said it during the press conference, but AJ Brown just couldn't fucking help himself. AJ Brown was asked about the speculation of he's not the same player he used to be. And I know in a jokingly, he didn't do it on purpose. He did it sarcastically, throwing Saquon's name under the bus, pretty much saying, I guess Saquon ain't the same player either. I have a question for you. Do you see Saquon Barkley doing this shit? Saquon Barkley has enough room to bitch and complain right now the way this run game is from Kevin Patullo and how they're trying to get these lanes open. Okay. Saquon Barkley has every opportunity to do what AJ is doing, but is he doing that? No. Is he posting shit on social media? No. Is he on Twitch streams saying stupid shit with other fucking content creators? No. Saquon has expressed in a positive way in multiple interviews that we got to get the run game going. Not putting any type of cryptic messages on social media and trying to get attention that AJ Brown is doing right now. Like I said, I understand both sides of the situation where we're not getting our money's worth out of AJ. At the same time, to get our money's worth out of AJ to be the top receiver that he is, we have to create ways to get him open. And I think we lack in that department because of our stupid fucking hiring process between Jeffrey Lurie letting Nick do whatever the fuck he wants, hiring his best friend. What I'm about to say is I'm not saying that it is fact, but it really, guys, it wouldn't fucking shock me if AJ Brown was the culprit behind telling Derek Gunn to put out that fucking statement. It wouldn't shock me if he told Deshaun Jackson to put out that fucking report between the quarterback and wide receiver, and it sticks out like a sore thumb and blah blah blah. And come on now. Let's be real here. After a couple flare-ups and being vocal, that's perfectly fine. But you got to go to Kevin Patullo. What happened? Kevin Patullo, apparently he's in his fucking office all the time talking about life, talking about football. Why not talk to Jeffrey Lurie in his office? Why not try to get this done behind the scenes? Because every time he comes out with shit like this, it just takes away everything that the Eagles are doing this year. We cannot focus on anything relating to football once AJ shrugs and pouts and says one little fucking thing that's off. And that becomes the number one news all week. It is a big distraction. These are the type of players that could ruin a culture, that could ruin a dynasty. Trust me. When T.O. left the Eagles, the way he left the Eagles, okay, Andy couldn't rebuild that fucking team. And there's a reason why. This is more than Kevin Patullo. I'm sorry to say, but it is starting to connect just a little bit more. I even looked at some stats. Actually, one of my buddies messaged me and was like, you know what? A.J. Brown is ranked 78th wide receiver out of 79 receivers in the league in separation. I'm like, what? Is that true? He said, yeah. It's like 1.8 yards. 78th receiver out of 79 in the NFL. He is second to last in separation. I know what everyone's going to say to me. It's Kevin Patullo, blah, blah, blah. And trust me, like, it could be. Part of it could be. To be 78 receivers out of 79, 1.8 yards of separation, and that's it. Either A.J. Brown is hiding a fucking injury or he's being fucking lazy. And there has been times this year where we caught him slacking on fucking routes and slowing down. We've seen it a few times. It might have happened last game. I know it happened earlier in the season. Like, it has happened before. I can't put all of that on a fucking OC. This potentially could fuck up our entire season, and that's a real fucking shame that one guy is going to blatantly sabotage and fucking destroy us, and I really hope that's not the case, and I hope that things do get better. But it's so fucking eye-opening. And if this becomes a serious fucking divorce with the Eagles, you have time now to strategize what you're going to do with this guy if it doesn't work out at the end of the year. When it comes to 2026, he could be traded. Don't trade him to the Patriots. Don't trade him to a fucking team that could be a possible threat to the Eagles. This isn't up to A.J. Brown where he fucking goes. Go join Miami. Go join fucking Cleveland and catch some balls from Shedeur Sanders. Go catch 80 to 90 balls a year. Go get your fucking Pro Bowls and never win a fucking thing. If winning doesn't make him happy, I don't know what makes A.J. Brown happy at all. This is just my opinion, and I want A.J. Brown to be here for another year. I don't want him to go. But if the Eagles end up trading him, that team is going to have to take on that entire contract. If they get rid of A.J. Brown, you can't let Jahan Dotson walk. Jahan Dotson is going to be a cheap option. If they can get a team to take over mostly that entire contract, which I think they can, you give Jahan Dotson a much cheaper contract where he will be cheap and aggressively go after him. And then I guess you take your shot at another receiver, whether you have an extra first or you have a pick swap. One or the other of how they do it, I'm not really sure, because that will be a pretty big need. I'm just speaking into existence if the move does happen. I don't know if it's going to. Like I said, things could get better down the line, and I hope it does, but that presser was that didn't help his cause. Leading up to that press conference, I think a lot of Eagles fans were on his side, and then really after what he spewed out at that press conference and how he acted with that smug look on his face, I think a lot of Eagle fans are against him now. And I'm not even saying I am. I'm just disappointed. I'm like, I don't want to lose a player of his caliber on this team because it's a very rarity to have two number ones on your team. Even with Devontae Smith, there are times where, like, he only will probably say something if other players are talking about it and it's out to the media, then he'll kind of chip in. But he is never the type of guy after a game, even having no fucking targets or no catches, will never come out and try to get that type of attention. That is an Alabama guy. That is a Nick Saban guy. That's how those players are built. Heisman Trophy winner. He will never come out and be like that, ever. I'm starting to wonder if A.J. Brown was like this pretty much right before he got traded to Philadelphia, if he was actually acting like this in Tennessee. But guys, only time will tell. If I made people angry, it is what it is. At the end of the day, like, we all want to win a championship. We don't want this season ruined. You're at a perfect position right now where the division is easily taken by the Eagles if they keep doing what they're doing. And the conference, the Eagles control their own destiny still as of right now. And all of that can be ruined if the roster starts to break and we start paying attention to the negative bullshit, all because of one guy. I know the offensive coordinator is a problem, but the player that's causing this is the bigger problem now. Like, AJ spoke his mind the first time he did. We thought it was going to be over. And he has continued and continued and continued to do this over and over again. Not just on the field, but he has done it outside of football, which that news comes to the Eagles. They find out what AJ does. Jeffrey Lurie is probably pretty pissed off at how that press conference went a couple days ago. And I probably wouldn't be happy either. I'm very disappointed. Some of us fans won't think this is a big deal, but this is very important. If you want to keep fucking winning and you want to have a dynasty and you want to have the best defense every single year and you want this offense to get better, the offensive coordinator stuff, it's going to straighten itself out sooner or later, whether if it's not this year, if the Eagles have to win by being conservative and, limiting the turnover battle and letting the defense eat every single week, then that's what we're just going to have to deal with. I don't like it, but if we have to deal with that, that's where I'm kind of at. And like, I can't control anything. We have no control over any of this. This is the type of shit that we have to worry, that we have to deal with. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. I really want to read some of your comments. And look, if you're just going to be angry and just throw a tantrum, don't even bother commenting. Like, I want like legit feedback on what your thought process is of this situation and where it could lead and where it could go. Is it a problem for this season? Do you think A.J. Brown is here in 2026? Okay. Like I said, if I hurt anybody's feelings, I apologize, but I really don't care because you know what? This is just how I feel. I'm not going to hide from it. I'm not going to, I can't help how I feel, So it's hard to apologize when this is how I feel about certain situations like this. This is where we're at. And that's it. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Beat Dallas on Sunday, and let's go get it. And hopefully we see better days. Hopefully nothing else happens before Sunday. I'll see you guys in the next one. Shakes, what up? Follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.